Namaskar viewers. Today we are supposed to discuss something very important: marriage, divorce, separation, custody, and many more. But the issue is the expert who's supposed to join us had some emergency in our family, so she couldn't join. But as Bhagavad Gita told, what happens for good. We have come up with a very, very interesting storyline, and that reflects the exact our human society through the experiment carried out internationally in US by a renowned scientist over the rat's ideal colony, and the experiment named Universe-25. He tried to create an ideal colony for which rats will live happily, and it will try to understand the behavioral science of human society through that rats. It started with 4 pair of rats and ended up with a very astonishing result out of that experiments. But these experiments are out of behavioral science. So let us first see what kind of experiment it was and what kind of experiment it has been done under that university project. Let us see.
IBT News Lifestyle and Health. News read by Mirai. Today we were supposed to telecast issues related to marriage, divorce and life after with a mental health expert, but she was not available suddenly due to her personal obligations. We do apologize to our viewers. But as Holy Bhagavad Gita told, what happens for good. We came up with a real-life experiment to see what could be the nature and model of human society through a colony of rats' behavior. Let's see what the story from life tells. Universe-25 was a study carried out from 1954 to 1972 by John B. Calhoun, an American ethologist and behavioral researcher who claimed the bleak effects of overpopulation on rodents were a grim model for the future of the human race. Working with NIMA, National Institute of Mental Health, Calhoun created the perfect mouse universe to conduct his study. Universe-25 was a study carried out from 1954 to 1972 by John B. Calhoun, an American ethologist and behavioral researcher who claimed the bleak effects of overpopulation on rodents were a grim model for the future of the human race. Working with NIMA, National Institute of Mental Health, Calhoun created the perfect mouse universe to conduct his study. Universe-25 is one of the most terrifying studies in the history of science, where scientists try to understand human civilization based on experiments on rat colonies. The idea for Universe-25 came from the American scientist John Calhoun. He built an ideal world where rats would live and breed. Better yet, Calhoun created a special environment called Rat Paradise, where there was plenty of food, water, and space to live. In the beginning, he kept 4 pairs of rats, which started breeding in a short time in a suitable environment, and that too at a very fast pace. Surprisingly, after 315 days of keeping the rats in that paradise, the rate of reproduction decreases. When the number of rats reached 800, there were 2 breeds of good and perverted rats. Since then, the weaker rats have been attacked and many male rats have been mentally broken. The fruit of the rat's stay in heaven fell on the women in a different way. Women move away from self-defense and become aggressive towards their children. Among female rats, this aggressive attitude gradually increases. As a result, infant mortality rates begin to decline and infant mortality rates increase. Among the males, a new breed of rat originates, which is the beautiful rat. They refuse to fight with women for reproduction and space. They are only worried about food and sleep. Once upon a time, beautiful men and aggressive women gained the majority. According to Calhoun, there were two stages of death: first death and second death. The end is the meaning of life. That is to say, lack of desire for procreation, reluctance to have children and child rearing, and not moving forward to create one's own position in the society. Over time, the mortality rate among baby rats has reached 100% and reproduction has stagnated to zero. Homosexuality is created among rats at risk, and they begin to eat themselves. Homosexuality, cannibalism. The number of these deformed brains continues to increase day by day. Although there was no shortage of food, no shortage of animals of the opposite sex. 2 years after the study began, the last rat was born. By 1983, the last rat in the Universe-25 project had died. John Calhoun performed this test 25 more times, and all the tests yielded the same result. Calhoun's scientific work provides insights into the decline of civil society and civilization and provides important insights into urban life. We see this same thing in today's world. On the one hand, the scattering of weak, feminine men who have no significant personal skills or ability to defend themselves. On the other hand, aggressive masculine women who are far from excessive bad temper and natural motherhood femininity. On the other hand, there is an increase in people who are not interested in marriage, family formation, birth, and child rearing, that is to say, the emergence of Western ideology or Western philosophy like antinatalism, LGBTQ movement, free sex movement, feminism, liberalism, gender fluidity concept, etc. is the last nail in the coffin of the present fragmented world system. Reference to the story based on Universe-25, the mouse utopia experiment that turned into an apocalypse, Science. By Ren Barnes. We are thankful for such an insightful story. One must read the original to get the complete story.
So, we have just finished listening the story of a famous international experiment carried out on the rats colony, and not once but multiple times had yielded a very much horrifying nature of the rats. Thankfully, we the humans are not the rodents, and hopefully will not be one of them. But for once, if we think of the outcome of that experiment, initially we had the enough food, water, and comfort with a very limited number of pairs of rats there, and they grown up their colony very fast. But the moment they become a sizable number, the division of in the society, in the form of ideology, in the form of religion, in the form of thought process, in the form of their desire appeared. Well, you will say, what is a religion here? No, it's not the human religion I'm talking of. It's the religion of a particular animal community, and what is their natural behavior and what should they do in a given condition. That is their religion. And when they are driven away from that situation, that becomes the defection. The changes, whether it is good or bad, that a question of debate. But what we saw, all the ethical standpoints which normally otherwise in that rat community should be ideal is diluted. The extramarital affairs, the infight among the females, losing the quality of a natural mother, reluctant male, lazy one, all this shown inside the rat. Now, for once, if we consider our own society, when you don't have to earn your living, you just get it free, and you don't value the effort of labor, the effort of your earning, you become complacent. Your mind becomes empty. And this popular saying, empty mind is devil's workshop. So, it's not an psychological class or the research going on. Rather, it's the sharing of the thought process. How we find this experiment very, very informative, rather alarming, warning to our own self with light on context of the present unrest because of different issues inside the country. So whenever you are not busy with the real work, whenever you are not contributing to the society with your quality, with your skills, with your education, with your effort, some way or the other you try to damage it to gain an attention. And that exactly happens when the disturbance is created by masses out of a non-issue. Sometimes the real protests, which needs to be done in a democratic and peaceful way, becomes very violent. It could be over a government policy, it could be over an remark, it could be over an social situation, it could be an economic affair of the country, but under any circumstances, any point, you cannot damage your own country. Won't you love your country like your mother? If that is the case, nobody could damage the property and the citizen and subjects of that country. So, in this Universe-25 experiment, if you go it thoroughly, you read it, umpty number of literatures available in the net, in the free domains access. You can download, you can view the things, and if need be, you can go to the IBG News YouTube channel, and you can find our own video, which we try to give you a concise idea. You can repeat and listen it once again. So, in our own feelings, marriages of earlier days used to be based on more mutual respect, love, trust, and respect for each other. But with the changes in the society, desire, good, bad, or ugly, whatever it may be, there are situations came when your economics of the family got downfall. Instead of fighting and carrying out, overcoming the challenges, one thinks to dump off the family and find the fortune outside the family, and which starts breaking the family itself. The worst affected, the member of the family, are the kids and the elderly one, who cannot accept that psychological setback. Yet, sometimes it becomes very difficult for the other person to stand by an unethical person who is continuously violating the mutual respect and trust at every stages of life. So, considering these situations, once the stages comes when you have to call it a day, but when you call it a day, you have to make sure that none other in the family gets impacted, or as much as you can compromise and reduce the damage. But you cannot avoid any damage completely. It's not possible. Anyone the kids are losing, they will try to miss, and they will miss forever, until and unless that kids realizes that what was the real problem. But sometimes even it has been found that kids are misled by the other person to give a wrong impression about the right one. So it's not an issue, it is the test of time and testimony of the honesty which will prevail and which always prevails. So in this way, what we feel that when you are not feeling that some relationship is starts trustworthy, respectful, and love is existing there is no point continuing such relationship and creating quarrelsome environment which is more harmful than a peaceful separation and divorce. And sometimes it happens the people do get remarried to find a settlement and soulmate, but it has been found that their previous partners try to disturb their life without any real cause, just out of vindictive nature, and that exactly creates the problem in the society. So neither they can live happily or they don't allow anybody to live happily. So when I was discussing, because I have a discussion with my research team today evening when our expert was not able to meet this show, that what to do and come up. My research team told that, so you are also university graduate in psychology. Why don't you yourself take this session and explain your thoughts towards the society? So what I thought that it is better to make few points very clear. Number one, before the marriage, counseling is must. You should understand your partner very well, what his or her likings, what his or her dislikings, what are their ethical standpoints, how far you can compromise with that ethical standpoints. All these are very important. What is their family values? Don't jump into any marriage just you fall in love or you found that person's one ability. He or she may be singing very well or painting or maybe very good orator, very brilliant student with a beautiful career in front. No, these are the things not going to work. These are the ornamentations. If the person within and core are not at all good and to live alone, in the long run, this marriage is going to collapse. Point number two, never ever accept any relationship just because of your parents, your in-laws, your family members, or your friends are saying it's very good. No. Well, you take the advice. Obviously, you accept the proposals, but at the last, you have to leave. You have to take the call. You take an informed decision. These are very much important. Number three, finance is very much important. Finance is very much important, but you cannot ensure that every day of your life will go same smoothly because of finance. Even the biggest emperor of business magnates, their business has been crashed. Lehman Brothers sold for $1. What else you want an example? Once they are supposed to be the one of the biggest financial institute of the world, Ernon crashed. Tata Nano had to move out of Singur in West Bengal and went all the way to Gujarat. All these things can happen. Harshad Mehta, once the main market manipulator, king of the stock market, what was his fate? There are a lot of other people whose name we can take in this call, but many are the sub judice, but we cannot. That is not right to call the names, but examples are surely which are available in the public domain. Nobody's life goes smoothly throughout. So ups and downs are there. Make both of your skills upgradable and relevant to the market, so that if the single breadwinner fails because of sickness, because of any emergency situation, accident, anything can happen, the other one should be able to take care of the family. If that is not the case, then you are sitting on a booby trap of the financial crisis. This is a modern day problem. There is not a 50 or 100-year-old story that father is going to the job, mother is taking care of the family. No. Try to gain some online earning as well. You don't have to leave your home. You don't have to dump your kids or family, especially the ladies in Indian context, the mothers whom I respect most. Try to gain some skill set through which online you can earn. You are educated. Why won't you try your own skills to get earning? It will give you a good positive feeling. Yes, I am doing also something for my family. If your husband or wife is sick, she or he will find that no, my partner is trying his or her best to give me the support. So this is very important. Third important thing, education. Please, for God's sake, don't get into any wedlock where you don't find interest in the other person's. At least understand his or her challenges in life. Most of our society nowadays will see a high-paid IT professionals, high-tech professionals, and their life is not at all very easy. They have to run from the pillar to post to meet the deadline of the project, clients meeting, weekends calls, and all these things happens. And if you expect your husband will come back or wife will come back leaving their job and meet the requirements in the family, then you have made a wrong choice. If you are getting involved in a relationship when the other partner's job demands 24/7 kind of activities, maybe police, maybe army person, you have to be very careful. Don't expect which a 10 to 5 job person can offer in your personal space. Just see whether other person is dedicated, honest about your relationship, cares for you. That's very important. It is better to have a 2 hours dedicated quality relationship rather than 24 hours of quarrelsome life. This is very important. Number 3, once you are married, remember, before marriage, no matter how beautiful tailor you sew, it is going to change. Change for good, bad and ugly, all. There would be some the ugly side, and that will come like a surprise. Don't fight, don't quarrel. Try to understand why that ugly side is. If possible, try to slowly change it. Overnight, nothing changes. And if you try to do that, it will fight. Say, for example, smoking. I was a chain smoker. And thanks to my wife, Antara, who helped me to come out of my addiction. Yes, now I don't even smoke a single puff. On the contrary, it gives me immense trouble if I find somebody smoking in front of me and I'm become a passive smoker. I cannot withstand now. Thanks to Antara, she is a gem of person. I'm lucky enough. She always stood by me, and that should be the way a marriage should work. The next one important thing is, if you find that some of the qualities you cannot tolerate, the situations are going bad, maybe because of third party, don't allow third party to enter into your relation. That will spoil up the whole thing. Maybe your in-laws, maybe your mother-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, whoever it is. Don't allow anybody to develop the distrust among you and your partner. That is a worst possible thing can happen. And sometimes jealous, opportunist, relatives, friends they are very dangerous. It is better to have enemies rather than these hidden enemies. They creates lot of distrust among you and your partner. So be careful. These are the elements surely add up the spice in the flame. Now, unfortunately, if you are not able to cope up in a relationship, try to take your quality time out alone. Maybe you can went for a vacation alone. Maybe you can go to your friend's place or your uh, parents' place and try to find out whether you can really live without the person. What are the things you like about that person? What are the things you hate about him? And whether it can be recovered. And see whether this person is really caring about you and giving you a call, trying to reach out. And if he or she is doing out of love and affection, don't hit back. Don't hit back. If some repentant soul is coming back to you, allow one or twice if they are really repentant. But you have to be careful and judgmental here who is an actor and who is a really repentant soul. If a person really loves you, he or she has the right to scold you as well. It's a part of the game. If I have made the mistake, he or she will scold, and it's a sporting friend, like accept it, say sorry, move on. But if you cannot withstand and it gives you an inner force to fight it hard, even sometimes physical fight, that are the signature where you have to be very careful. That means the love is dying, only the hate is growing. So it's better to call it a day. Don't try to hit any ladies or vice versa. As a human being, that is not expected and accepted in the society. When you get out of a relationship, get ready that you have to pay the damage, collateral damage, for your mistake, for your wrong decision, and whatever it may be. And make it a legitimate, justified one. Discuss with your legal concern, discuss with your partner, and sort it out. Don't drag it just to show that how powerful your lawyer is and lingering the show. Ultimately, you are wasting your life. Drop the non-working relationship, move ahead in the life, because these rodents are going to eat up your peace of mind. Some people don't deserve to be called your partner or vice versa. So let it be and go away in that way. In that case, if you have kids, you are in a even bigger soup. Kids normally get attached to the person who is more affectionate and playful with them in the initial days. And slowly that may change into other way opinion if that person tries to impose some ethical boundaries and value of the family to that kids, and their friends are very much opposite to that. Surely their friends version will win, and as a single parent you will lose. And don't feel bad about it. Reason being, everybody is a different person and they needs to be understood in their way. They have their rights to live on. If they have grown up, they are adult, let them take their decision. But at the same time, don't allow them to spoil your life. Nobody got the right to spoil anybody's life. It's their life, it's their decision. Let them enjoy it. You cannot force respect, love, and affection on anybody, especially the misguided one. So be ready. If you are lucky enough, your kids are going to stay alone with you. If they are not, don't feel bad about it. It's your duty what you have to perform, and you should be happy about it. If you have tried to make them a good citizen of your country, but despite of that you have failed, you have given a best shot. Don't repent. Let them face the world the way they have chosen. Third important thing, Whatever the financial obligations, settle it down once and for all. Don't go for any regular payout. After some times, it is going to create a very, very angry situation, but you have to follow the law. So it will create a negative feedback within you, especially when you are paying to the other person, which is because of your old relationship. So that will create the hypertension, blood sugar, all these uh, diseases, lifestyle diseases within you, just because you are getting irritated inside to carry out the relationship. The relationship which is not going to work out, you need to you must be in a position to understand. Yes, if law has said you have to pay some payout, finish it once and for all. Otherwise, if that other person is vindictive and unethical person, they'll make your life miserable. And most of the cases, extramarital affairs, and that is the most painful thing. I have seen many people belonging to very good families, but when they enter into the married life, they are completely different person. The husband, drunkard, womanizer, and every other day a new girlfriend, and the lady feels dumped and dejected, betrayed. On the other way, if the lady is a debauched one, she indulges herself with the relationship outside the marriage whenever her husband is out of the office job or anything. You cannot keep a CCTV, and even if you keep a CCTV with an unethical partner, it is always painful to keep an eye on that lady and see your trust is thrashed out every day on your own bed. That is not the way to look at your life. Leave and dump that relationship immediately. Your mind will be peaceful. You will live longer without her. But carrying her just out of this fear, what people will say, please, for God's sake, it is your life, not the people's life. It is important to be the law-abiding citizen, a good gentleman, or the lady. That has nothing to do with the society. It's the marriage. You didn't got married with the society. You got married with the person. And if the person is not right, leave him or her immediately. That's the only solution. Divorce is not a crime, but it shows a decision that you had the courage to come out of a non-working relationship. But always keep in mind, do not run away from your responsibilities. You cannot dump your kids just because of you had enjoyment outside your marriage, and the kids should suffer for that. That's the important thing. But I have seen the mothers who left their kids in the very, very young age without caring whether they will be able to eat or live or survive. But later on, they came back and claimed, oh, this is my kid, I want to take care. So these kind of people, only God bless them. So today we discuss a lot of things which otherwise are very challenging. It should be a clean life. Do enjoy your writing, dancing, singing, painting, whatever you want to do. Do the social work. There are a lot of things you can do except taking care of a rogue element as your partner. After divorce also, you have a life. Try to find out the right partner and settle down again. It's not a one-day match. It is a taste match. The people always get a second chance to live on. And if you really get a good person, cherish it. Don't try to compare him or her with the previous one. Never. It will spoil your present relationship. No two person in the world are same. Their mentality will not be same. Their liking, their disliking, all will be different. So it's just like you are having the same biryani or fried rice or chili chicken, but in a different restaurant. And obviously the shape is different, so the taste will be a little bit different. But if again you get a wrong person, that's your bad luck. But most of the cases, second time you will be more cautious to get the right person. When you have a relationship, you are entering in the second time, and you find sometimes that the man you or woman you are marrying, he or she is having a kid from the previous relationship. Make your mind clear. If you can love kids in the locality or in the train or in the buses or even the movies or even the YouTube shows, and you have a very lovely behavior towards them, treat them as your own kids as well. Love, respect, affection, fatherly, motherly care always wins. But remember, you are entering a shoe of his or her own biological father or mother. There will be always an initial time where you need to settle down. They will retaliate. Their kids, they are not a grown up who will understand. They might not like you, and here is your chance to showcase that you are really a good person by your care, by your love, and try to be friendly. Let them accept you as their mother, father. Don't impose it on them. If you try to impose, they will retaliate more. But slowly, if they realize, no, this person is really a good person and I should give my full respect to him or her as my father or mother, or like father or mother like figure, then your life will be much more easier. Don't try to get that relationship imposed out of your authority figure. Rather, get it like a god or goddess gets the respect after the puja. So, what I will say, this is a very long topic. Lot of serial discussion could be there. Today, I tried to summarize few points which came in my mind when I was student of psychology, and thanks to my University of North Bengal degree, which tried to introspect and put in the situation and what are the causes could be a marriage can be successful or painful or even lead to divorce. All can happen in life, come what may. Never thought of committing suicide or any harm to yourself or your any family members. God has given you a beautiful life, lot of beautiful things you have to do. Get up, cheer up, and do it properly. So, my dear friends, once again, I will tell that please see our Universe-25 short video experiment out of that world-class experiment done in US. It will give you a chronology and the maybe understanding what could have a situational behavioral change among the society. Always try to be a good citizen, feel for your country, be a good parent, be a good partner. Thank you very much. Good evening, good night, and Shabakir.